Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Today we're diving deep into one of the hottest trade rumors swirling around the NFL. Could the Dallas Cowboys be a potential trade destination for Dolphins cornerback Jalen Ramsey? Ramsey, as you probably know, is a superstar in the league and has been the subject of intense trade speculation recently. The big news is that Ramsey reportedly wants out of Miami, and while there's been talk about him returning to the Rams, things have hit a roadblock because the Dolphins don't want to eat too much of his salary. Now, with the trade market heating up, some insiders have started pointing fingers at the Cowboys as a dark horse candidate. But does this rumor hold water? Let's break it all down. Yesterday, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler dropped some interesting hints. He said he had talked to someone inside the Cowboys organization who implied Dallas might still be active in the trade market this offseason. This comment sparked a lot of buzz, especially because the Cowboys have already been very busy making moves via trades. Brandon Laurie from SB Nation shared a video where Fowler suggested that Dallas could be a serious player in the Ramsey sweepstakes, noting the team's aggressive trade activity this offseason. The Cowboys have already brought in multiple players on rookie deals through trades, so why not add a veteran cornerback like Ramsey? Here's where things get a little tricky. Yes, the Cowboys have made 4 trades this offseason, picking up quarterback Joe Milton and wide receiver George Pickens on offense, plus linebacker Kenneth Murray and cornerback Kyer Elam on defense. But that kind of activity could cut both ways. On one hand, it shows Dallas is not afraid to wheel and deal. On the other, they have already parted with a hefty amount of draft capital, including 3 picks in the recent draft and more future picks for these trades. That makes you wonder if they really want to give up even more, especially for a high-priced star like Ramsey, who would likely command a hefty return. Adding to the skepticism, Cowboys insider Ed Werder from WFAA expressed doubts about the whole rumor. He said, and I quote, that trading for Jalen Ramsey has not even been a topic of discussion within the Cowboys organization at this time. That's a pretty strong statement coming from a trusted source who's close to the team. It suggests that while the idea might sound appealing to fans and outsiders inside the Cowboys front office, it might just be a non-starter, at least for now. Still, let's talk about the Cowboys cornerback situation, because that's what fuels this rumor in the first place. The position was definitely flagged as a need this offseason. Darren Bland's injury and a rough year for Trevon Diggs left the secondary looking thin. Jordan Lewis was one of the only bright spots, but he moved on in free agency to Jacksonville. So yes, Dallas needs help in the secondary. But the good news is that Bland is expected to bounce back next season after recovering from injury. And Diggs, despite last year's dip, has proven he can play at a Pro Bowl level. That adds some depth and hope to the cornerback group. Furthermore, the Cowboys made some strategic moves to bolster their defensive backfield without having to trade for someone like Ramsey. They acquired Kyer Elam, a promising young cornerback, and also drafted Shavon Revel from East Carolina in the 3rd round. These additions could provide enough depth and competition to make Dallas more confident about their secondary heading into 2025. So, while cornerback is still a concern, the Cowboys appear to be working the draft and trade markets carefully to fill those gaps without overspending on a big-name star. All that said, we can't completely rule Dallas out as a potential Ramsey suitor. Trades can be unpredictable, and if Miami lowers its price, or if Dallas sees Ramsey as a key piece for a championship run, things could shift rapidly. The Cowboys have the cap space and the motivation to make bold moves, especially if they think Ramsey can be the missing puzzle piece on defense. But at this stage, the evidence seems thin, and the team insiders don't appear to be actively pursuing this path. It's also worth considering the bigger picture for Dallas. They have been aggressive in acquiring young talent on rookie contracts, which is a smart move for building a sustainable roster. Giving up future draft picks for a high-priced veteran is a gamble that could impact the team's flexibility for years to come. So while adding Ramsey would be a headline-grabbing move, it might not fit the Cowboys' long-term strategy, especially if they believe their young corners can develop and improve. To sum it all up, the idea of Jalen Ramsey heading to Dallas is an intriguing rumor, but one that currently feels more like wishful thinking than a serious front office plan. The Cowboys have needs at cornerback, no doubt, but they have also made moves that suggest they're trying to build through a mix of youth and savvy trades rather than expensive blockbuster deals. As always in the NFL, things can change overnight. But right now, keep an eye on Miami, the Rams, and maybe a few other teams. Dallas, for now, is more talk than action when it comes to Ramsey. Alright, that's the latest on the Jalen Ramsey trade buzz and the Cowboys' potential involvement. What do you think? Should Dallas go all in for Ramsey or stick to developing their young talent? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more breaking NFL news and analysis. I'll catch you in the next video. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments what's your take on the Fins this week. Big news coming out of Miami that's already stirring up the NFL world. Rumor has it that Rasul Douglas, the talented cornerback known for his solid coverage and playmaking ability, has just arrived at the Miami Dolphins headquarters. Word on the street? He's reportedly in town to finalize a major deal, a 4-year contract that could really shake up the Dolphins' defense in the coming seasons. This kind of commitment shows how serious Miami is about bolstering their secondary and defending against some of the league's best passing attacks. Douglas has been a name that's been floating around free agency talks for a while now, and it makes sense. His versatility and knack for creating turnovers make him a prized asset for any team looking to tighten up their pass defense. The Dolphins, fresh off some promising performances, are clearly aiming to build a defense that complements their explosive offense. Bringing in a player like Douglas could be exactly what they need to become a more balanced, dominant squad. What makes this potential signing so intriguing is Rasul Douglas's journey in the NFL. Drafted in the 3rd round back in 2017, Douglas has bounced around a few teams but has consistently shown flashes of brilliance. His ability to read quarterbacks and break up passes stands out, and the Dolphins coaching staff must see a player who fits perfectly into their defensive scheme. A 4-year deal signals confidence not just in his current skill set, but in his potential to develop into a cornerstone of Miami's secondary. Looking at the Dolphins' current roster, it's clear that they've been searching for reliable cornerback depth for some time. Injuries and inconsistent play in the past have left gaps that talented players like Douglas could fill. Miami's defense has sometimes struggled against top-tier receivers, and adding Douglas could be a strategic move to plug those holes. If this deal goes through, it could also mean more competition in training camp, pushing every defensive back to elevate their game. The Dolphins have been on an upward trajectory under their current leadership, blending youthful energy with strategic acquisitions. Rasul Douglas joining this mix would add a veteran presence with playoff experience, something the team values highly. His addition might also signal that Miami isn't just focusing on short-term success, but is committed to building a defense that can sustain excellence for years. Fans can expect a more aggressive and confident secondary that will challenge opponents week after week. This potential signing also raises questions about how the Dolphins will manage their salary cap and roster spots. Committing to a 4-year deal means they believe Douglas is worth the investment long-term, which often translates to giving up some flexibility elsewhere. It'll be interesting to watch how Miami balances this, especially with other free agents and draft picks in the pipeline. But one thing is clear, they are prioritizing defensive strength as a foundation for their championship ambitions. Rasul Douglas's arrival could also impact the locker room dynamics in Miami. Known as a hard worker with a professional attitude, Douglas brings more than just skills on the field. His presence could help mentor younger players and foster a culture of resilience and discipline. Miami's locker room chemistry has been improving, and a player like Douglas might be exactly what the team needs to maintain that positive momentum going forward. Another angle to consider is how this move fits into the broader NFL landscape. The Dolphins are sending a message to their rivals. They're serious about contending now, with offensive stars already turning heads. Reinforcing the defense with someone like Douglas could make Miami one of the most balanced teams in the league. For opponents, this signing might mean facing a tougher, smarter defense that won't give easy yards or big plays. Lastly, fans and analysts alike will be watching closely to see how Rasul Douglas adapts to his new team and system. Transitioning to a new city and playbook can be challenging, but Douglas has shown adaptability throughout his career. If he can bring his best to Miami and stay healthy, this 4-year deal could mark the start of something special for both the player and the Dolphins. Stay tuned because this story is just getting started, and the Dolphins defense could soon be turning heads all across the NFL. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!